And joining me now from his secret bunker is the author of the New York Times best-selling book, Liberty and Tyranny, a Conservative Manifesto, which has been now 12 of the last 13 weeks, #1 on the New York Times list, 800,000 books sold, over 1 million in print. I call him the great one. Mark Levin is here. Thank me. How am I?
Fine, thank me.
Which, by the way, is signature on your radio show. Mark, look, in all seriousness, and I want to get into some specifics, and we have some time to get into it with you here tonight. You know, this is really, if not the biggest conservative book of the year, maybe even the decade. Why do you think this book has resonated to this extent? These numbers are unheard of in the book business for the most part.
Because I think the American people are fundamentally liberty-loving people, and what's going on in this country is really anti-liberty. The president, you know, they just put Bernie Madoff away for life. The president's policies are Bernie Madoff times 1,000. He is taking a wrecking ball to this society. The American people love this country. They love its institutions. They revere the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. What the president is peddling is something utterly foreign. He's dragging us into what de Tocqueville called a soft tyranny. And really, I don't know what the limits on the power of the presidency are anymore. You know, they used to call Bush an imperial president, which was ridiculous. This is a real, live imperial president who wants to dictate everything from light bulbs to what medicines you get to student loans and credit card interest rates. He doesn't have the constitutional authority to be doing all these things.
Mark,
I think the public agrees with us.
Well, I sense the public is beginning to turn on all of this, and the polls seem to back this up. For example, more Americans now see the Democratic Party as too liberal. Now, Mark, he ran sounding as conservative as he possibly can. He ran, Mark, saying, well, if you make $250,000 a year, you're not going to see your taxes go up. Well, cap and trade is going to raise everybody's taxes. They're talking about a value-added tax. They're talking about taxing employee benefits for health care. So clearly, the numbers now show that the public views the Democratic Party. Well, he lied. That's one way. Yeah, he did lie. He did.
Matter of fact, he's taken this page right out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky essentially said, look, you got to sound like you're for the middle class, you got to act like you're from the middle class, and then you destroy the middle class. The fact of the matter is most of us have jobs, but we're concerned about keeping them, given what he's done to our fiscal and monetary policy in this country. Most of us have health insurance, and we like it. It's not a question of helping those who don't have it. He wants to destroy the health care system that most of us like. Well, he's in bed with the NEA and against the children in the public school system. He is the purest statist ever to sit in the Oval Office.
I agree. But all right, so now the numbers show that the public is viewing, and I still think we're a center-right country. This is the same country that elected Ronald Reagan with 49 states. Although, obviously, things change. Demographics change, et cetera, et cetera. People have discussed that at length. Here's the question. If more people see the Democratic Party as more liberal than the last time that happened was November of 1994, and we know what happened then. That's when Newt Gingrich came to power. What does this mean politically as you look into your crystal ball?
Here's the little secret. Conservatism now is on the ascendancy. The political pundits, the experts don't see it yet. It's on the ascendancy, not just because of the popularity of my book, not just because of talk radio, just because of the repulsion of the extreme radicalism of this president and this Congress, and they're lurching so fast and so hard to the left. But people really do want to keep most of what they earn. You know, they're concerned about other people, but they don't want to go broke over government entitlement programs. They're very concerned about what's going to happen to their children, with trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt being created in a period of months. They're very concerned about this phony cap and trade, which would give the EPA authority over your homes and your house and your toaster and your light bulb. They know that when they wake up in the morning, they love this country. They know they're blessed to be here in the heart of liberty. They know that they work hard and the government should not take 40 or 50% of their income. And Obama stands for all of this. He stands for all the wrong things. And I think the American people are picking up on it now.
You know, I went to a wedding this weekend, and almost every single...
I thought you were married already.
No, I am. It wasn't my...
Oh, all right.
It wasn't my wedding. And by the way, you look good with
Yes.
makeup. I just want you to know for the record. And
Thank you. I knew you would notice.
Is that bunker underground or is it above ground?
Well, there are different parts of it. I have a lair downstairs. That's underground, but I'm up ground right now.
All right, but in all
Thanks for
seriousness,
asking.
all seriousness, at this wedding, everybody that I talk to seems to fear the America they grew up in is being systematically torn apart. Not just on economic issues, the ones that you just listed off. I often talk about them. Talk radio talks about it. Fox News talks about it. But similarly, you know, on national security, the view that we're unilaterally disarming, that we don't understand the nature of evil, that this isn't the same country that, you know, once beat back fascism and Nazism by supporting this guy that wants to start or establish a dictatorship in Honduras. Your thoughts on national security?
Well, look, what kind of a president denounces Israel, which is basically just trying to survive in the middle of a hellhole, and on the other hand plays footsies with the Iranian regime that is an illegitimate, terrorist-loving regime? What kind of a president does that? What kind of a president jumps to the fore, says we're not going to get involved in the sovereignty of countries, does it immediately in Honduras when the Castro-Chavez Marxist lightweight, who they threw out of that country, defied his Supreme Court, defied his Constitution. The military removes him. The Congress there puts in place the head of the Congress. It's not a military coup. And yet takes the same position as Castro and Chavez and Ortega. This president has some very bizarre and alien viewpoints that were, you know, he was indoctrinated with, and now that I believe he really believes in and advances. He is about as left-wing and about as radical as anybody ever to be in the Oval Office.
Mark, this book is the modern-day equivalent of A Conscience of a Conservative by Barry Goldwater. 12 out of 13 weeks, #1 on the New York Times list. I got to tell you something. It is a phenomenon. It is a call to awaken those in the Obama mania hypnotic state. It's a great book. No kidding around. You're a great friend. Congratulations on the success of the book, your radio shows, gangbusters, and thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, and we sent a copy of the book to the president. Maybe he'll read it.
Really? You think so? I hope so.
Maybe he won't.
Well, he said he wanted to have a beer with me. I offered to pay for it, and he wouldn't take me up on my offer after he invited me.
Right.
Yeah, God bless us. Thank me.
I'll take him for a hamburger. All right, take care.
By the way, why do you ask your callers what they're wearing all the time?
Because I'm curious.
Mark, it's always fun. Mark Levin, the great one.